and welcome. How's everybody doing? I am Mitch, and this is Unseen Universe, and this is a Gongylus gongylodes. That's right. I get the name right, Mitchell. How's everybody doing? You're all right? Look, good. Welcome. So tonight we have a big rehouse. We've got a communal setup. Gongylus. I know you can't see it very well here, but here, this is a female, adult female. The ones that I'm putting in the enclosure tonight are going to be younger nymphs, of course. So I'm looking forward to this one. Very excited to get this communal going. This little beauty is just wandering. There you go. Gongylus. So before we get going, I'm going to introduce my right-hand man, my partner in crime, looking after me, looking after you, looking after everybody. It's Gavlar of Impossible in Bed. Hello. How's it going, Gav?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, good. How are you, my friend? You all right?
Yeah, not bad.
Good. Right then, so this is going to be a good one. So looking forward to this. I'm going to put my little friend away. So this is a adult female. You can't see it very well. I've not got the other cameras sorted out. I'm going to just pop that little beauty away. So, how's everybody doing? You're all right, everybody? Welcome. As I said before, this is going to be a rehouse. It's going to be a communal setup for Gongylus, or the wandering Violin Mantis, also known as the Indian Rose Mantis or the ornate Mantis. So, there you go. Now, before we all get in a big hissy fit about communal living, we'll come on to that in a bit. It's not something I usually advocate, but if there's one species that I think is definitely worth having a go at some communal living with absolutely minimal cannibalism and minimal casualties, it's this one, the Gongylus. What do you reckon, Gav?
Yeah, because they're so dope.
So, in Gav's words, they are so dopey. So there you go, and I think I'd have to agree. I think basically the thing is about them is that they've probably got really chill attitudes. They're probably really laid back. I mean, they're from India. They're from southern India, Sri Lanka. I mean, come on.
They've been with Maharishi, haven't
they? They've evolved to be chill, right? To be naturally chill. Let's face it. So we've got all that good stuff going on. And also, I think personally, it's mainly because they are absolute evolutionary, predatory, top of the apex, top of the pile when it comes to snatching flies right out of the air. This is what they specialize in. This is their specialty. They are absolutely hardcore predators when it comes to snatching flying prey. Things like flies, moths, butterflies, anything that's flying past them, they will snatch that bad boy right out of the air. They are absolutely geared for that. And because of that, I think, if you put, they will eat roaches and other things, fast moving things. But to be honest, only usually if they're absolutely starving. They'll generally ignore most prey that's scuttling around or moving around in front of them. If it's not flying around, there's a good chance they'll probably ignore it. And I think that's probably why they're quite happy to just ignore each other. Unless you obviously starve them to death. Obviously, if you starve them, they are going to start eating each other. But I think, as a matter of principle, they're so evolutionary to catch prey, flying prey out of the air. I think that's one of the main reasons why they just ignore each other, to be honest. So that's my little theory, anyway. So I'm going to go with that. But we'll talk a little bit more about that when we have a closer look at them, because the raptors on them are raptorial, relative to the size of their spindly arms and stuff. They've got absolutely monstrous kind of grabbing material, so that's really good. Right then, Gav, enough of that. We'll talk a bit more about that later. Who is in the house? Who have we got in the house? We've got We've got Andy, Spiders. How's it going, Andy? We've got 8 Legs, 4 Wheels. That's our Greg. How's it going, buddy? We've got Kaylee, Taylor Art. Kaylee, how's it going, Kaylee? I'm hoping Andy's with you. If not, he'll probably join us later. He might have been at work and stuff like that. Who knows? Sarah, what? Oh, hello, Sarah. I'm sure we were just chatting earlier on today. So, how's it going, Sarah? You okay? Thank you so much for joining us. I'm not sure if you've been with us before. You recognise Sarah's name as being here before? I know Sarah. What's her name? Because I know we were speaking. I've been speaking to Sarah over the last couple of days. We've got some stuff going on. So, welcome, Sarah. Thanks so much for joining us. We've got Jeremy's in the house, of course. Jeremy. Spooky Dukes is in the house. How's it going, guys? Anybody else? Melissa Makin. How's it going, Melissa? Wow, there's a blast from the past. How's it going, Mel? You all right? Thank you so much. I hope you are well. It's been a while since I spoke to Melissa. Wow. So there we go. Thanks so much for joining us. Anybody else in the house? Who else are we looking at? Claire's in the house for Runa Exotics. How's it going, Claire? And I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Stephanie, all monitor. Don't forget to like and share and all that good stuff. Tell her to tell everybody. Oh, poor old Jeremy. It's an hard life, isn't it, buddy? No, man, I feel that. I feel you. I feel it, man. I feel it. Everyone's working really hard. Everyone's working really hard these days for very little comeback, you know, because let's face it, everyone's working as hard as they can, all hours God sends, and then energy prices and fuel bills are going through the roof and everything else is going through the roof. But that's why we have our little streams here. It's our little oasis from the world here in the Unseen Universe shed. Me, Gavilar, and everybody else, we are here to just take your mind off all that stuff for a little while. So no more of this. It's a hard life, Jeremy. But I feel you, man. I feel you. I really do. So I think that's everybody. Danielle, how's it going, Danielle? You all right? Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. There you go. There you go. Melissa says they were on. I thought they were. They were on Play Your Cards Right. That is some time ago. That's about a month ago. Play Your Cards Right will be coming back again very, very soon, guys. I'm not sure exactly when, but it will be soon. So look out for that. Mark Northern White is in the house. How's it going, Mark? Scott is in the house. Scott's Animal Adventures. There you go. Right, let's just crack on, shall we? Because we've got to get on with this. Because I've got loads and loads and loads of stuff to sort out. I've already made a little bit of a start. Going to get my Lazy Susie. I'm calling it whatever I like. There you go. Right. This is what I'm doing my communal in. I'm going to minimize you a little bit, Gav. That's all right, my friend. Right then, guys. Here it is. This is what I am doing my communal in. Now, listen. Before you all get in a big hoo-ha about the fact that it's Gongys, man. It's Gongys. They're supposed to be kept in mesh cubes. They're supposed to be kept in this, that, and the other. Right. Well, I'm going to say it again. I say this all the time, and Gav will back me up on this. There are no mesh cubes in the wild. Gav, have you ever been out and about and there's seen mesh cubes growing within the foliage in and about where bugs are living?
Yeah, they grow on trees like cocoa beans.
They grow on trees. my bad. That's my mistake. They do grow on trees, apparently. Somewhere in the world, they grow in trees, but not in southern India and in Sri Lanka. And well, I'll say it. They originate from southern India and Sri Lanka, but they've also been found in Java, Myanmar, and Thailand. So there you go. So none of those places they have mesh cubes growing off trees. So I'm just going to say right now. I'm going to say it again. There is no problem housing any mantis in an enclosure that is not made out of mesh. Okay, I have gone for a mesh top, but that's just because I wanted to. I could have gone for an acrylic top if I'd wanted to, and the principle would have been the same. Now, look, I know that all the literature will tell you that you must put your gongys or Gongylus. I'm going to say Gongys from now on. That you must put them in mesh cubes. Now I get it. Okay, I understand. I keep mine in mesh cubes. In fact, I've got some mesh cubes here, which already have them in. I keep mine in mesh cubes. There we go. That's a 20 by 20 by 20. Now, I keep mine in mesh cubes generally just because I can stack them up and I can just do what I like with them. I can stick them in the bug room window where the sun shines through, and it's lovely. But the reason why I'm putting them in these is because the main reason why people say keep them in mesh cubes is twofold. One is because it's mesh, and the Gongylus is a member of the Epusidae family. Now, in this family, you've got things like Idolomorpha lateralis, Violin Mantis diabolica. You've got B. mendicus, and you've got a variety of other things. And it's all to do with the way their tarsals have evolved differently to other mantids. Now, I'm not going to get bogged down in the details of this. We are going to do another stream on this, Gav, I've just decided, where we're going to focus on all the different types of tarsals that different mantids have and why different enclosures are more suitable for different things. But the bottom line is, with the Empusidae family, all those species I've just mentioned, including Gongys, they cannot climb glass, acrylic, plastic, or any smooth surface. They'll basically just be going like that all day long. Now, this is why most people advise putting them in mesh cubes. And that is perfectly fine. I've got no problem with that whatsoever. And the other reason is ventilation. They do like a lot of nice ventilation. They don't like stagnant air. They like to have make sure that there's plenty of air moving around within. Can we not? Is this good? How long is this going to go on for? It's going to go on as long as you guys know it winds me up, right? Okay, listen, right.
To stop being silly now.
Stop being silly. Where was I? I was talking about, I lost my flow. Speaking of flow, I was speaking about airflow. You see how I did there, Gav? And so we've got twofold mesh cubes. Mesh, obviously, the Empusidae species, such as the wandering violin mantis, the gongys, it's easier for them to climb the sides and move around all within the outsides of that cube. If you keep yours in a mesh cube, they will be perfectly happy. There's plenty of airflow going through. Now, the reason why I've decided to do it in this is because I just wanted to have something that looked nicer than a mesh cube, basically. And I have absolutely no problem whatsoever with putting my gongys inside an acrylic enclosure. Now, everything I've just said still stands. They will not be able to climb the sides. They will be able to move around in the top because I've got it all lovely. I've got it all lovely meshed up at the top, so they will be able to move around at the top. Now, the important thing is here is to recreate their natural habitats, recreate what it's like in nature, because like I said, they can't climb the sides, so they need to be able to move around freely within as natural as possible. That's why I am going to fill it with sticks, branches, all kinds of paraphernalia that they are going to be able to traverse, move around, hang upside down from, and basically live how they would normally live in the wild. That is why I'm doing it in this. The acrylic enclosure looks nicer. I'll be able to get some nice images, get some nice video footage of them in what might look like a pretty relatively natural environment, and that's why I'm doing it. A mesh cube is perfectly functional and perfectly fine. It's just not very pretty. Now, I know you can put loads of stuff inside a mesh cube, but I just decided I wanted to do this. And also, it gave me an opportunity to discuss the fact that, yes, the internet will tell you to put your gongys in a mesh cube. I'm going to say you don't need to, because like I said before, they're not in mesh cubes in the wild. They live in amongst the sticks, long grasses, twigs, and that kind of environment. And let's face it, they're doing pretty well in the wild, aren't they? So I don't think we need to worry too much about that. As long as you make sure that if you're going to go for like a glass or an acrylic enclosure like this, you need to make sure that you put the appropriate amount of sticks and make it functional for them to move around and thrive in. So there you go. that is my bottom line. That's my 2p worth on why it's not such a big deal not using a mesh cube. If anybody's got anything to put forward or discuss or anything like that, please feel free. Put them in the comments in the video after the stream, and I'll be more than happy to hash it out with you.
This will allow for more light as well, because I don't know if you found that with a lot of these species, they like to almost bask in the sun.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
Whereas with the mesh cube, it doesn't allow that enough light through.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I think what you're saying is right, Gav. I think, I mean, people have been using mesh cubes for years and never had any real problems when regards to the heat and stuff. Obviously, because this is an acrylic enclosure, it is going to be susceptible to too much direct heat. But as long as you get like a heat lamp over the top, shining through the mesh directly over the top and nowhere else, I think it should be fine. Now I'm going to talk about that again. I might come back on. I'll come back onto the whole temperature requirements later, because again, people will tell you, and the internet will tell you, that you need to have. My God, they like it baking hot. You have to have it 30 to 40 degrees, which to a certain extent is true. But for the younger nymphs, I've been keeping this species for well over 10 years consistently now. And I've done all kinds of experiments, and I've found actually that the younger nymphs do better. I'm talking like first instar right through to maybe fourth or fifth instar. They do perfectly fine between 24 and 26 degrees. That temperature is perfectly fine. You don't need to be, and you don't need to hit them with baking hot sun lamps and all kinds of other, like, ceramic heat bulbs and God knows what else. They actually do not need it. They'll appreciate it if you give it to them, and it's perfectly fine if you want to do that. Give them like up to 30 degrees, then that's perfectly fine too. But I just don't think that they need it at that younger stage. Now, as they start to get a little bit older, then you can start to increase that heat a little bit. So right, have we got anybody new in the house?
Adam's here.
Adam's in. With the heat Mitchy Boy gives off, he could heat that entire room. Now, are we talking about the natural kind of heat that I just exude, from my prize-winning personality? Or is he talking about the hot air coming out of my mouth? Something tells me it's the latter. Right, okay, guys. What I have done is I've got some Oasis in the middle. I've already put in a load of substrate. Now, this substrate is a little bit moist. It's not dried out as much as I would have liked, and I'm basically going to keep these dry. There's a little bit more humidity, going to be a little bit more humidity in there than I probably wanted, but it will just drop because I'm going to let this just dry out. So I'm going to get started. I have got all manner of paraphernalia. Look at all these wonderful things that I've got. I've got some deserty style sticks. More deserty style sticks. Look at these. These are beautiful. Well, dangerous, but beautiful. I've also got some of this stuff. I've got all kinds of things. I've got dried leaves. Look at these. Look at these. I've got all kinds of things. And I've got what else have I got? Most importantly, I've got absolutely shed loads of awesome sticky, twindly, spindly things. Perfect for your Empusid eyes. Absolutely perfect they are, because I'll talk about this a little bit later on. But
Curly Willow, that.
Curly Willow, there you go. Right, there you go. Have we got any sticks? There you go. Adam says sticks. That's exactly what it is. Right, I'm gonna start by building my base.
Not black, blue, Peter, this one.
just going to start by taking that back out again. That's a good start. I think that's too big. I don't know if I like that. I'm going to start with something else. So I'm going to start by just making up my foundation from which I'm going to anchor everything else in. Anybody saying anything in the chat, Gav? Anything going on?
Sticks, twigs, branches. Right, Adam's going. Catch you later, dude.
All right, dude. I'm sorry I missed your premiere earlier, dude, of your little game show, your little game. I promise I'll catch it a bit later on. I'm looking forward.
I'll drop a link in a minute. Steph's going to drop a link into it.
Yeah, cool.
Everybody should go and watch it.
Everybody should go and watch it. So
Claire, the enclosure size is 30 by 30 by 30.
Yep, 30 by 30 by 30. This one is it's got the thermo hygrometer in it right there. This one's got the mesh top. I do have the top opening version and the front opening door version. So this one has basically just got the front opening door like so. And the mesh top. I also have the other version, which is exactly the same. It's got the front opening door, but it's got the top opening lid as well. No mesh.
Behind you.
Right then, so there you go. Invertebrarian. That's our Adam. Adam has got an awesome new series just starting over on his YouTube channel. So go check it out. And if you've not checked out Adam's channel over at the Invertebrarium, if you've not checked out his channel, go check his channel out. Not just because he's got an exciting new series, just because he's an awesome all-round guy. He's very funny. Well, he thinks he's very funny. It's the fact that he thinks he's funny makes it funny, if you know what I mean. Now, man, Adam's an awesome guy. He always blends his own natural little bit of humour and comedic timing and brilliance and all that good stuff. It's a funny guy. Honestly, get over it. Check his out. And also, he might teach you a little bit about inverts and spiders and various other things as well while he's at it. But usually it's just a bit of a laugh. But he's doing this new series. It's called Taskmaster. If you've seen the Taskmaster, I don't know. I haven't seen it. What's up, dude?
Copyright, man. Copyright.
Woo! What is it called?
Woo, 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 woo.
I thought that's what he was calling it. Oh, did I say it's called? I said I think it's like Taskmaster. So there you go. Get over it. It's series 1. It's episode 1. It's just started. It's starring our Gavilar, Ebbs, and who else is it starring? It's starring
Steve from Translatastic Enclosures.
Steve from Translatastic Enclosures, and also
Gar from Arachnotube.
Gar from Arachnotube as well. So,
and Jen from Jennifer's Tarantulas.
Jen from Jennifer's Tarantulas. So there you go. If you don't know any of these guys, go over, see them. They all do awesome content. So get over. They're all taking part in Adam's lovely new show. I can't wait to have a look at it and see what the heck is going on. So that'll be really good. Right, okay, guys. I've got my my little baseline going on right there. Just put 3 of these in. Daniel's off. Is it Danielle? Danielle, is it Danielle? Oh, Daniel. I thought so. Sorry, dude. You just never know. It's a minefield, dude. It's a minefield. Daniel's off. Thanks so much for tuning in, my friend. Thank you. Why are you not staying till the end? There's lots more information to come. No, but seriously, thanks for tuning in, Daniel. I really appreciate your support, my friend. Thank you. Right. Okay. Yeah, Claire, it is such a nice size. You're right. It's actually very, very nice, and I love it, actually. It's a great size. So, I'm basically going to put in a little bit of a dead flower area as well. So we've got that going on. Look at that. Wonderful. I love this stuff.
Daniel's on a night shift. That's why he's going.
Daniel's on a night shift. Well, you know what? Everyone's working so hard, man. Have a good one, my friend. Have a good one. Don't work too hard. I mean, not that you probably will. I mean, who works hard on a night shift? You probably know all about that, Gav.
I've not done a night shift. I've done the graveyard shift.
Look at this. I'm loving it. Right, guys. We've got a few more of them to come.
Bramble's a nightmare with the mesh. Claire's just saying she hates pop-up cubes. They're a nightmare for falling over and catching bramble, etc.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I think you said that about mesh cubes before, didn't you? About the stability of them.
Yeah. I mean, they're fine. You can get some ones that you can hang up. If you've got space to hang them up and stuff, then that's quite good. But you know, I mean, they're all right. Right, guys, this is coming together quite nicely now.
Evening, John.
John's in the house. How's it going, John? Got a bit of feedback from somewhere. I don't know where. Right then. So, I've got my little bit of a dead flower area going on. See what you think, guys. Could have put some. Need plenty more little sticks and stuff in there.
Yeah, you couldn't do that in a mesh one.
You what, dude?
I said you couldn't do that in a mesh one.
No, exactly. Now, I was going to put some of this grass in. What do you reckon? Should I bother?
Will it split?
Yeah, I was trying to do that earlier. I was hoping it was going to like pull out. I can't get it out. So yeah, I just found it. I found it in the back of in the bug room, right in the back of the shelf. I thought actually that'd be perfect. Maybe I could just like bury it there at the front. Actually, it might work. It might work there as I should have put it in before I put all my substrate in. It might work there to cover me.
Hi, Ben.
Hygrometer up from this side. Right, hang on a minute. Ben's in the house. How's it going, Ben?
Ben's saying he's got a penultimate male Stegodipus lineatus or liatus. I don't know how you say it.
Yeah, they're doing the rounds again, aren't they? Because obviously Lee's selling them at the moment. So he's got a what? Sorry, a penultimate male.
Yeah.
Is that a free sub? Is that a sub-adult?
Will be, won't it? Yeah.
Just cleaning up a little bit, guys. Now, tell me what you think. Tell me whether it's a goer or a no-goer. Just needs tidying up a little bit, but see what you think. What do you reckon? Too much?
Yeah. No, I think that'll be pretty cool, though.
Or do you think I should like put it at the back? Maybe I should have put it in at the back before I started. What does everyone reckon? What about the grass? Too much? I could always cut it back a little bit.
You try it back.
Pardon?
And you get it back without having to take all the sticks out.
No.
Leave it up front then.
Yeah, I could probably take out this one and that one. I mean, yeah, maybe
I
I
mean,
should.
it looks all right. It'll add a little bit of coverage for them.
Yeah, you see, look, Claire says grass at back. I mean, actually, it won't take me long just to take this bit out and
Do it.
do it. Right, I'm going to do it because I won't be happy because I should have just I forgot I'd got it, to be honest. So right, there you go. And now I just need to dig out a little bit at the back. Right then, guys. So Jeremy's piped up. I agree with Claire. Now I agree, man. That's why I've wasted no time in just sorting it out. There you go. I think that's going to look bob on that. I need to flatten some of this stuff down. It's so thick. Gongy's better love this, you know. Otherwise, there's trouble. Right. I think that looks better at the back. I just need to clean up a bit. Okay, guys. Right. Thank you for bearing with me. So,
Alan Sardex.
Francis is in the house in Vet Kingdom, UK. How's it going, buddy?
It's got Oasis in the bottom, Claire. Give some stability for the sticks.
So, so if you were wondering, I've got Oasis in the base, basically, so I can. There we go. I've got Oasis in the base for the pretty much about 80% of the center is Oasis, so we can. There we go. Look, so those sticks that you can see, those dried leaves, those dry flowers on this side, so they'll basically stay in place. I've got about 1.5 inches of Oasis at the bottom. So I think that looks better. That looks better now, doesn't it? With the
yeah, it does.
With the grass at the back. Right. Let's get it on. Right, let's start putting some more stuff in, shall we? And then we can get to the exciting bit of getting the bugs out.
Exactly.
Stick your sticks in. Come on. Look. This is a work of art, man. Can't just go sticking these sticks in. What are you talking about?
Marley Man in the house.
Dude! How's it going, my friend?
No, just the one player.
What's that?
I didn't think Oasis had much base.
I have to agree. Right, guys.
Don't, Claire, don't. It's like Beetlejuice.
Okay. Right, I've got my foundations in. There we go. What y'all think? Now I just need to put some more sticks in.
Yeah, it's looking smart. That.
It's gonna look awesome when they get these guys in. So what do you reckon? Do you reckon I need any more foliage going on in there, or do you think I should just put sticks in now? I did think about putting a couple of these little things in. Just again for a little bit of decoration. So, like I was saying, let's talk a little bit about the Gongys, shall we? Because otherwise it's just dead air. Right, so if you've just tuned in, guys, this is going to be an updated rehouse of the Gongylus gongylodes, which I'm calling Gongys, obviously, and they are the wandering violin mantis, Indian rose mantis, or the ornate mantis. Now, these are absolutely unique in their appearance, in their behaviour, and the fact that they are indeed one of the only species that I would probably recommend as being a communal species. Now, no mantis species, as I always say to people when they ask me about things like ghosts and various other things, no mantis species is truly communal because they are apex predators. So let's just get that straight. But some species are more forgiving than others when it comes to basically just getting on with their neighbours, not like eating the first thing that moves around them, that sort of thing. So Gongys is probably the only species I would actually recommend, or maybe Heterochaeta orientalis cat mantis. I've housed them before, and they've been perfectly fine as well in a communal. So, but
so it's going to be a big tank end.
Yeah, absolutely. But Gongys, they definitely are okay to house together. Like I said earlier on, I've been keeping these for well over 10 years now, and I've rarely lost any. I've rarely lost any at all, to be honest. So, and I think it's because they are absolutely evolutionary. They have just evolved to be absolute awesome at snatching flying prey out of the air, and they will feed predominantly only on flying prey. So, butterflies, moths, obviously blue bottles, green bottles, and any other flying prey. Even like pollinators, bees, wasps, they will snatch just anything. If it's flying by, they will snatch it, and they are absolutely the bee's knees when it comes to
the speed. Like when you see a normal mantis grab its food, it's fast. But when these grab the food,
yeah,
it's even faster.
it is just unbelievably fast. So, and I think that because of that, because they will generally only eat flying prey. Now, don't get me wrong, they will eat other food as well, fast-moving, scuttling prey if they're hungry enough. But if they're not absolutely starving and they've not they've been getting food, they will just pretty much ignore most most food prey items that's not flying, basically. So, and I think for that reason, I think that's why they will generally ignore each other. As long as they're not absolutely starving, obviously, they will more or less ignore each other in favour of any flying prey that's going on. So I think that's why they are much better at being communally housed than any other mantis species. So let me just, yeah, I thought John was saying something about that he'd kept some of these together, but he was just talking about ghosts, I think. Right, guys, I think I'm ready now to put some other stuff in, to put the twigs in. So I have gone for it, and I have put a little bit of I've put a little bit of a flower patch in there as well, just because I couldn't help myself. I'm just putting another strategically placed stick in there to help support a few things. Right, there we go. Now I'm going to put some of the thinner sticks in across the middle and front area. There we go. What do you reckon? All right. I don't want to make it too busy. I mean, it's already quite busy.
Looks like an avenue.
Right, I'm going to put some of these sticks in, and then we're nearly done. We are nearly done. So we've got lots of these. So because these, I was talking earlier about the fact that these violin mantises are Empusidae, and one of the things that the Empusidae family have got in common, like so devil's flower, the lesser devil's flower, and the so we've got bee mendicas, we've got idolomorphas, we've got Idolomantis. They've all got one thing in common, is that they've got slightly differently evolved tarsals, and basically they've got longer appendages at the end of their tarsus. And what this means is that they're not able to grip plastic, glass, acrylic, or anything else. That's why generally people will always say they must go in mesh cubes. They must go in mesh cubes, which is true, but it's not the be all and end all when it comes to keeping these. You basically do not just have to keep them in mesh cubes. It helps because, like I said, the mesh helps them. It enables them to grip all sides of the enclosure. But what they tend to do is they tend to just stay all around the outside of the enclosure. They tend to not migrate anywhere unless you put loads of sticks in the middle. They'll generally just migrate all around the outside. And that's so mesh cubes, you can put loads of stuff in and make them look interesting, but they're just not going to be as nice. Not as something, you can't make them look as nice as what this sort of thing can be. Now, like I said before, you don't get mesh in the environment, so they basically live amongst the grasses and the shrubberies, and lots of sticky areas and various areas that have got loads and loads of sticks like this. And the reason why they love these sorts of environments is because this is how they've evolved, and this is why their tarsals have evolved the way that they have. Because what they do is, instead of just having like very small tarsals, which are more like hooks at the end, which is what most mantis species will hang from mesh from. Things like Empusidae, Idolomantis diabolica is a very, very classic example of this, and we'll talk about that another day. But Gongylodes have also got these types of tarsals, and they've got extended appendages. And basically what they do is they will they wrap their tarsals around a stick. So instead of just hanging like this, they will wrap their tarsals around a stick like this because they've got those extra long appendages. And this is the reason why they prefer sticks instead of just fine mesh in order to move around and climb from. They have that extra stability. And I think part of the reason they have evolved these as well, is not only because of the environment that they've evolved in, but also because they have really bulky bodies. Because they carry that extra little bit of weight, they need that extra kind of grip. So they, instead of just relying on hanging, they actually physically wrap themselves around like a piece of rope. And that gives them that extra strength and stability to support that increased body mass, which is what they've got. So that's why you can get away with not having a mesh enclosure, providing you supply adequate amounts of sticks and twigs into that environment for them to move around in freely, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm going to add loads of these sticks and twigs in this environment, and they are going to be able to move around freely. hopefully they're going to enjoy it. I'm hoping they're going to enjoy it a lot more than a boring old mesh cube, because it's going to add a lot more interest. It's going to add a lot more stability, functionality, because they're going to have lots of these sticks to move around in. And I think it's going to feel a lot more like home. What do you say, Gav?
Yeah.
There you go. Gav says yeah, so it must be
Yeah,
right.
it's going to be more natural in it.
It's going to look nicer, and it's going to be more practical and functional, I think, for them. So I think it's a work. It's good news all around. So Andy's off. Andy, thanks so much for tuning in, my friend.
Yeah, dude.
See you go. Hopefully you'll catch the end when you see the finished product. We will hopefully get some critter cam going on a little bit later on.
They are available on Unseen Universe website.
What's that?
Sticks, bits and bobs.
Yeah, sticks, bits and bobs. I'm actually going to talk about a little bit about this later on. I've got absolutely loads of gongies. I am actually going to put together a little package. I'm going to put together a package. It's going to include an awesome enclosure. It's going to include all the bits and bobs. I need to buy a few more extra bits and bobs like these, because I don't have any. I don't have any of these actual sticks and bits and bobs. But what I'm going to do is, once I've finished this, I'm going to decide exactly what I think could go into an enclosure and make it look equally as nice. And the plan is, I'm going to put together a package. So it's going to be the enclosure. It's going to be however many of gongies you want for your own personal communal. And it's going to have all the bits and bobs inside, substrate, everything. And it's going to be a complete package. And I'm going to put that together within the next couple of weeks. And I'm going to make this available for you guys. So if you like what you see here, guys, and you really fancy having a go yourself, then I'm going to make it available, and I'm going to try and do quite a good deal on the whole package, so the enclosure and everything. But equally, you can buy the enclosures separately, obviously, but also the gongies are for sale. They're actually on the website right now. But if you do want a communal setup and everything else, let me know, and I'll put together a package for you, and I'll do you a better deal than just buying like 10 gongies straight off the website, sort of thing. So there you go. I can't say fairer than that, can I, go?
No. John's just saying, are you going to add extra heat to that in the form of heat bulb, or is the shed warm enough? This is going back inside, isn't it, I believe?
I haven't decided yet. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it over there, Gav. And that's no good to anybody else, but on that shelf that's doing nothing right in front of the shed window. And I'm going to leave it in the window because basically... So
that's probably the warmest part of the shed,
I'm going to come on to this in a minute. Basically, what I was saying earlier, I didn't touch on heat and humidity properly. But it's like I was saying earlier. The young nymphs, I usually just keep mine in mesh cubes. And what I do is, especially now summer's coming and we're getting a lot of sun, I just put them in the bug room window. They sit in the bug room window all day long, and they absolutely love it. So in my bug room window, much to the dismay of my partner, is a row of. I'll take a photo one day, or I'll show everybody. There's a row of just mesh cages, mesh cubes like this, basically, and in them I've got gongies, and I've got Violin Mantis, and I've got Idolomorpha. So all those species that I've just been talking about from the Empusidae family, I've got them in mesh cubes, and they're all just sit in my bug room window. And then during the day, in that window, I could have up to 6 hours sun beating in through that window. Now I do have a net curtain, so it's not absolute direct sunlight coming in, because that would just be a little bit too much. Because they're in mesh cubes, there's nowhere to hide. There's no protection. There's nowhere for them to kind of hide behind or anything like that if the sun gets too much. But what I've done is I've put one of those manky old-fashioned 1970s net curtains up in the bug room window, and then obviously, and that sits between the window and the mesh cubes, and then that adds just a small amount of filter for the sun direct, so there's not so much direct sunlight hitting them. But honestly, all day long, all you can see is all the Idler Mantis and all the Gongys and Idler Morpha, and they're all like that. They're all up against that side of the cube, of the mesh cube, all day long like this, like
It's what I was saying earlier, isn't it? It's almost like they like to bask in the sun.
Yeah, they absolutely love it. So basically, that's how I keep them in the house. Now, I've gone against the grain a little bit because I've decided, obviously, to make this communal in this acrylic enclosure, which is not something that I normally do. So, to be honest, this is kind of a little bit of an experiment because I've kept them in glass exoterras before, years and years and years ago, and they did equally as well. But I've never had them in acrylic, and the difference is mainly because I've just not had a nice big enclosure like this before, made from acrylic. So it's kind of a little bit of an experiment because I know that they obviously do really well in glass, they do really well in mesh, but I've never done them in acrylic. Now, obviously, the mesh provides lots and lots of really awesome ventilation, which is fantastic. Now, these acrylic enclosures have got the whole lid is completely meshed, and then as you can see, it's got all the awesome amounts of ventilation all around three sides. So I think that'll be just the right amount. So it's 30 by 30 by 30, Sarah. They are available. I haven't put them on the website yet, but these are the new size that I've made, and they are available. So if you want one, give me a shout. They're not on the website just yet. The largest ones on the website are the 20 by 20 by 30. These are the 30 by 30 by 30. So, do it, man. Do it. There you go. You know what? I made the mistake of not putting enough stuff at the back before I started. So, here we go. It's really starting to come together now, guys. Just getting loads and loads of sticks and all sorts all over the place. It's really starting to come together nicely. It's like do you know what it reminds me of, this enclosure now? It reminds me of when I look at pictures of South India and Sri Lanka.
Like the avenues on the plantations and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. What do you reckon, guys? It's looking pretty chocker in there now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to. I mean, it looks full from a distance. It looks full, but to be honest, there's absolutely loads of space. I'm making sure that there's plenty of space in and around. So the gongies I'm putting in are 4th instar now. So they're about 1, 2. They're getting on for like 3 centimeters now. So they're not so big that, you know, what I'll do is as they get a little bit bigger, when they molt again, I'll just cut. I'll strategically cut. I'll prune the foliage inside. That's the beauty of this setup, because I've got absolutely tons of this stuff. Honestly, you should see the bundle I've got up there. I've got a massive bundle left. It was back about, I don't know how much it was. It was a lot. But anyway, I've got absolutely tons of this stuff. So I really have no problems with putting loads in and then as the mantids grow a little bit more, I can just prune it a little bit, just to keep chopping out little bits, making the gaps appear make them slightly bigger and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, I'm really excited about how this is coming together now. I just wish I'd put a little bit more at the back before I started, because there's a bit of a gap at the back, which is fine. It's just kind of dead space really, because obviously they won't hang out in this on the floor or anything. So I'm just going to try and put a few more bits in at the back, just to fill it out a little bit. So yeah. So that's the reason why they prefer these thin, spindly sticks and twigs, because of the way that their tarsals have evolved. Like I was saying before, their tarsals are different from the Pucinoe family, and it's really, really important to understand that their tarsals are different. That's why if you've ever kept anything from the Greg, right, I'll come back to this in a minute. Greg's off. Greg, thank you so much, my friend. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. I'm sorry, I've not got the mantids out. That's going to be in the last half an hour or so. I just want to get this set up right. But yes, my friend, message me. Look out for that deal, and we'll sort you out. If you fancy having a go at this, Greg, I would love to see. I would love to see other people's attempts at setting up a nice communal that's close to their sort of habitat. It'd be really, really cool to do that. We could do that. Maybe I get a competition going, Gav. We could get a competition going, and we could get all the people who want to have a go, buy some gongies, get their own setups done. We can get a competition going. We could get a voting system going, and then we can get them on and do a feature. Or we could just get everybody's on. Right, okay, I'm running away with myself with the ideas. If you fancy having a go, let's get you on and we'll all have a chat about what we're doing. That'll be fantastic. So yeah. Now I've lost my train of thought. I don't know what I was saying. But I'm just going to keep going with this, because there's actually a lot more room in here than you might think. I think that might do. I think we might be nearly done, guys. I don't want to overflow it. Yeah, I forgot what I was talking about before Greg rudely interrupted me. But never mind. I'm just going to trim that. I'm going to put this last piece in. Yeah, I was thinking, Gav, if we get enough interest, people having a go at doing their own communals, we could get them on, get people on as their communals. That'd be good. People have been hiding away long enough. Right, I'm just going to try and get another stick in at the back, and then I think that might be it. Just quickly getting one right in at the back. Yeah, there we go. Sorted. Right, guys. I think I'm loving it. I just want to right. I'm just going to fix a couple across the top. Anything going on?
Yeah, Andy's on a ban.
You what, dude?
Andy's on a ban.
Andy's on a ban. Why?
Yeah, he can't have no inverts until the move.
Oh yeah. I didn't tell you I was speaking to those guys. I had a little chat with them last night about some little projects. I'll fill you in, Gab. So I had a chance to speak to you yet today. So, but yes, yeah,
You
they're moving.
spoke to me
They're off.
yesterday.
You what, dude?
You've spoke to me yesterday, unless ideas changed.
I meant today. Oh, did I?
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to you since I spoke to them, though.
No.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, I spoke to them last night. I spoke to them instead of speaking to you. That's what happened. Right,
I don't think
guys.
you spoke about the mesh top yet, have you? As such, somebody's just asked. Well, it was John that asked
Asking about what? Sorry.
about the mesh on the top.
Yes.
Somebody else asked as well earlier. What fabric are you using on the lid?
It's what was it? It's Hassan, isn't it?
Hessian.
Hessian. That's it. Yeah, I forget. Hessian.
It has the metal mesh that it actually comes with,
Yeah.
and then you've
Yeah.
underlined that with
Yes.
Hessian.
Okay. So the mesh top. This large 30 by 30 by 30 comes in two different types. It comes with the front opening door and the top opening door with no mesh. This particular one is the front opening door only, and the top is completely meshed. You can see that, almost completely meshed. It's absolutely fantastic. Basically, the all the mesh top versions come with a metal mesh gauze on the top. Now, if you're using it for things like mantis and various other things that have got quite delicate tarsals, I advise to put some organza mesh underneath the metal gauze, and then that'll be a lot softer than having the metal mesh. Now, because these are the Empusidae, so if I was going to putting Gongys in here, if I was going to put Idler Mantis or Idler Morpha or anything like that, I decided to put something, some mesh under there that's a little bit softer. It's more of a fabric. What's it called again, Gav? Hessian.
Hessian.
Hessian. It's Hessian. I've had this Hessian for absolutely years. You'd think I'd know the name of it, but I'm basically used Hessian for this. You what, dude?
You're speaking of stuff.
The reason why I've used Hessian is because there you go. Gav's got some there. I mean, this what I've got is actually
it's
quite
thicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, yours is looser woven in it.
But mine's more thick. Mine's more of a woolen fabricy Hessian. And the reason I've gone for that is because it's like mesh, but it's just got larger holes in between the fabric. But the fabric is the weave is actually thicker. So I think that would be much better for the Gongys once they get a little bit older and a little bit bulkier. I think they would do better with the thicker Hessian, the thicker kind of more almost like woolen fabric of the Hessian. It's just a little bit thicker, and I think it'll be better for the tarsals of the, because they'll be able to wrap their tarsals around the top in between the fibers of the Hessian, rather than just have to hang from like the fine mesh of organza. So that's the reason why I decided to go with that. It's an experiment. I've not used it before, but I actually think, knowing what I know about the development of the Empusidae tarsals, I actually think that the thicker Hessian will be better. So that's why I've gone for that, guys. That's why I've gone for that. Now, I know it goes against everything I was saying earlier about you don't need mesh and you don't need this, that, and the other. I just decided I wanted the extra ventilation more than anything. I'll be honest. That's the main reason I've gone for the mesh top one instead of the acrylic open top one. I wanted that extra ventilation because obviously Gongys do like a lot of ventilation, and that's why they do really well in the mesh cubes. Not just because it's obviously mesh, but it's that extra ventilation. So even though these acrylic cubes have got the ventilation all around the sides and the back, obviously having the whole entire top vented provides that extra ventilation going through as well. So anyway, guys, I think we are done. I'm happy with that. I was going to put a couple more pieces across the top, but I think it will do for now. So, what do y'all think? I'm loving it. I think that's all right. I think that's all right. There's actually a lot more space in there than you might think, guys. It does look busy, but there's a reason for that. I'm not putting too many gongies in there. I haven't quite decided yet. It depends how many have molted to the next size that I'm putting them in. So I'm aiming for 10, maybe 12, maybe more. It just depends how many. It depends how many of the larger size that I've got. So I think that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. There was one more thing I wanted to add. So just bear with me. I forgot to get it. I just wanted to put some bark chippings, some rainforest floor, bark chipping type stuff on the bottom, just to cover up the little nooks and crannies. There's quite a lot of the oasis in there. I just want to cover that up and make it just look a bit more natural, really. So I'm just going to throw that in. Now that is looking bob on. I'm just going to throw that in there. Boom. Chucking that bad boy in right there. That is looking spot on, that, guys. I'm really happy. Right. So that's it. I've got my little forest floor done. I'm happy with that. I'm just going to sleep up a little bit, and then we're going to get the bad boys out. We are going to get I know this is what you've all been waiting for. I know what you're thinking. Why did we have to sit through all that? Why didn't you just make it up and then just show us like when it's finished, you know? But where's the fun in that, right, Gav?
Yeah.
Gav was thinking, yeah, I know the feeling. I wish you'd done that and all. Could have saved ourselves an hour.
Jim.
Okay then, dude. Thanks, man. I'll see you later, my friend. Thanks for tuning in, John. Really appreciate it, mate. Take care, man. God, everyone's on night shifts. What's going on? Right, it's done. It is done. I'm really pleased with that. There we go. Bob on that. Right, let's get the bad boys out. I just need a drink because I'm really dry. So, we haven't talked about the temperature. I was going to come back to the temperature, wasn't I? So basically, temperatures, the internet and everybody else will tell you that they need baking hot temperatures, and they will not be wrong. They do prefer the heat. They come from an environment that is naturally hot and warm. So you've got to recreate that. Now, everybody thinks, not everyone, a lot of people think that you need to have it baking hot, like 30 to 40 degrees right from the get-go. This is just not true. And this is the same with Devil's Flower Mantis as well. They like it, okay. They will tolerate it really, really hot, but when they're really young, like first, say, third instar, I always just give them normal temperatures. I don't bother with heat mats. I don't bother with basking lamps. I don't bother with heat lamps. I don't bother with anything like that. I just keep them between 24 and 26 degrees. Now, if you need a heat lamp to get up to that temperature, then fine. But I'm lucky enough that I have a whole bug room that I keep at an ambient temperature of between 24 and 28 degrees all day long. And then it drops down to about 19 to 21 degrees overnight. That, again, is perfectly natural. So if you've got young nymphs, second, third, fourth instar, 24 to 26 or higher is perfectly fine. But don't worry about only having them from, say, 30 degrees onwards. You really don't need to bake them at that age. I've found that they will develop perfectly normally, perfectly adequately, perfectly fine at those regular sorts of temperatures. Now, as they get a little bit bigger, they do start to require a little bit of extra heat. So my guideline is from, say, 4th, 5th, 6th instar, I start to creep up that temperature from 26 to 28, and then maybe even 30, depending on what the external kind of, like, if it's the middle of summer and you're struggling to keep your bug room down from like 32 degrees, then that's fine. They will tolerate that kind of heat and they will thrive in it. It's like I was saying earlier. If you put them in the window, your cubes or whatever your enclosures with your gongies in the window, and that you've got that sun beating in, you will see those gongies like all hanging out on that side closest to the window for however many hours a day. And if you're using a heat lamp or a ceramic lamp or any other type of external heat source, you will find that your gongy will kind of appear to like bask up against the light, up against the heat source, which is great. But they only need that for a couple of hours a day. They don't need to be baked all day long. So as long as you're giving them that extra little bit boost of heat, then that's perfectly fine. I would say anywhere between 3 to 4 hours a day is perfectly fine. Now, the actual super hot temperatures of like 32 to 36 degrees is only really when they come to in their last molt or two. So when they're sub-adults, that's when you want to start upping their temperature to maybe 30 to 36 degrees for a few hours a day. They don't need it all day long, and they certainly don't need it overnight, even at that sort of stage. They just need it for a few hours a day, maybe 3 or 4 hours a day. Give them that intense heat, and then they'll be perfectly fine. Now, if you don't give them that extra heat, they won't just die, but they probably will struggle to enter into the next molting process. So the molting process will probably fail or be very, very slow in being instigated if you have temperatures below 30 degrees. I'll be honest, I have done experiments on this over the years, and I've found that they will still continue to molt. They just don't thrive as much as if you give them that extra heat later on in life. But they will continue to molt, and they will generally be okay. As long as the temperatures aren't below, say, 28 degrees, they'll generally be perfectly fine. So don't get too hung up on needing them to be 38, 40 degrees, because they just don't really need it that hot. As long as they get in 2 or 3 hours of between like 30 to 32, 34 degrees for a couple of hours a day, they'll actually do really, really well for you. So I think that'll be perfectly fine. What I'm going to do, I'm putting in mine now, 4th instar. I'm going to put some in these right now, and then basically I'm going to leave them in the bug room until they've molted at least 3 times, and then I'll think about giving them extra heat. I'll probably situate them so that they're in the window, and they'll get that extra heat during the height of the day. Right, guys, I know this is what you're all really waiting for, so let's just crack on, shall we? What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out all the ones that I've molted just recently. Can't see it there. I've not got me upper cam going, but I'm going to stick them in there. So we're going to count these as we go in. So we've got 1. I'm putting the ones in that I've all molted to 4th instar. 2. Let's just keep going. 3. So I'm going to put these in, and then I'm going to get the old camera out, and we'll have a good look at them. 4. 5. That one doesn't want to go in. It decided to come back out. 6. So I think, so there we go. That one is trying to climb up the glass, the acrylic. which is exactly what it shouldn't be doing. Right then, I think that's it for those ones. What we got? We've got some more. Yeah, I'm going to put another one in. So how many is that, Gav? 6?
6.
6. So I'm not sexing these. I could sex these right now. So you can sex these quite early on. At this young stage, you would only really sex them based on the abdominal count. But it's quite obvious. Oh, how many have I put in now? Are you keeping count, Gav? Because I've lost count.
You said we're going to count these as we put them in.
I think I put 7. I put 7 in, or is it 6 now? Oh, I don't know. I might have put 7 in, you know. Anyway, that's 8, I think. We've got 8 in there. I've got a few more in here. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, sexing them. You can sex these. Actually, some of these are 5th in star, so we'll put those bad boys in as well. So basically, at this young stage, you can't really tell any other way at sexing them apart from abdominal counting segments. It's pretty obvious. As usual, females have 5 or 6, depending on what stage it is, and the males will have 7 or 8, depending on what stage it is. I've completely lost count of how many I put in there now, Gav. I've stopped counting. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I think there is, well, that's that one empty anyway. I think that's 10. That's 10. Let's just go with, yeah, Steph says let's just go with Mitch put several in. And I did. And I have. I'm going to put a couple more in. We're going to put some more in. Let's just keep it going because, you know, when you put them in there, they're smaller. They're smaller. They appear smaller once you put them in there. It's such a big enclosure, and then you don't realise. And then they start running around trying to climb up the acrylic. How many have we got now? There's 2 more here. I'm just whacking them all in. I can't put them all in because I've got to save some for other people. I have actually got a bunch more coming through in the bug room, so don't worry, folks. It's not like I'm keeping them all for myself.
Gongy's galore.
Let's put one more in. Right, I think we've got 15, maybe 16 in there now. So that's good. Okay. 15, maybe 16 in there, and they've all disappeared. Right, guys, they're in. Let's see if we can see some, shall we? Let's get the old camera out. It looks fan-dabby-dozy in there. I'm going to go with the handheld critter cam for now, just because I wasn't sure how it was going to go. So we'll have a quick look, guys. There we go, look. There we go. There's one. There's a couple there, look. Straight up to that Hessian, look. See, this the enclosure is so good. You Can't see anything. Oops. You know what I think I need to do? I think we need to get critical out. Because I'm struggling to focus. Well, I seem to be enjoying that Hessian anyway. Another one, look. Another up here. There we go. Doing that wandering, moving around from side to side. So they do have this. They do have this thing where they kind of like, almost like they're mimicking, wandering around, blowing around in the wind, rocking from side to side. Made it like nothing to see here, nothing to see here, folks. Just a piece of leaf or stick, just blowing in the wind. You see? Can you see its tarsal there? Look, you see how it's on the right hand side. See how it's just like stuck around the stick? That's what I was talking about. So it's just got like a really elongated part of its tarsal at the end. It's just like wrapped around that stick, so perfect. I think we might have to get the macro lens out. Knuckle up. The only reason I went with the thing because I was hoping the zoom was going to work better on the autofocus for the zoom would work better. It's not worked as well as I hoped. So it's rocking, moving around from side to side. Brilliant. Right, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the other camera out. I'm going to get the other camera out because that's what it deserves. We deserve to see these bad boys properly, I think. What say you, Gav?
Yeah.
Yep. Bear with me a minute, guys. I'm just going to I'm just going to get the old proper kitocram. Right, let's do this right, shall we? See if we can find them, shall we? One down there. There we go. He's hanging out down there, look. So we've got about 16 in here now. And I'm hoping they're going to play very nicely. This one's having a nice little clean look. There we go. So now we can see that. I don't know whether you can see it, but just on the inside of its raptor, just on its forearm, on the inside of its forelimb, you can see that where it's pink with all those white dots. That is classic Empusidae. They all have those. So Idolomorpha, B. mendica. In the B. mendica, it's blue. You know, see where it's like pink and red. In the P. mendica, it's blue and green. Violin Mantis have them as well, but they don't have those little dots on Violin Mantis. They just have the red markings on the inside. But Idolomorpha has the exact same markings inside. So it's classic for the Empusidae. There we go. That one's having a nice clean anyway. Oops. So there you go. Look, you can see the little fake petals, fake leaves on the on all the appendages. This is just classic body morphology of the Gongy.
I love their antenna, mate.
Yeah. Well, I was going to come on to that because I think that's what I was talking about earlier when and then I got sidetracked with Greg leading. I was talking about so you can sex these based on their antennae when they're a little bit older. Right now they're a little bit too young. The antennae is pretty much the same on all of them. Short with a little bit of curl.
Yeah.
Like that one you can see. So right now the only way you can really sex them is by counting the abdominal segments. I just need to lower this a little bit. Sorry guys, bear with me. I can't. It's not low enough. Yeah, so the only way you can really sex them right now is by the abdominal segments. But as they get a little bit older, the antennae start to change a little bit, and in the males, they take on a more feathery appearance, which again is very similar in all the Empusidae. So in the B. mendicas, Idolomantis diabolicas, Idolomorphas, and also the Gongys, the antennae, as they get older, the females get shorter, thicker at the trunk, but they tend to just like curl out at the top, just like you can see with this one. But they stay quite short, whereas the males, they take on a really feathered appearance, almost like wearing two big feathers sticking out of their heads. And that becomes a lot more apparent in the males as they get older. Now, I think the reason for that is it's for the males to detect pheromones from the females. So as they mature, because the males only really take on this really feathery appearance in their antennae, these feathery structures, they only really take them on when they reach adulthood. So from sub-adult to adult, they take on this much more feathered appearance. And I think, like I say, I think that's for detecting the female pheromones.
It's same in like moths and
Yeah, exactly.
beetles and stuff like
Moths
that.
are a great example, aren't they, for that?
Yeah.
But look at these guys. Look at the stripes coming through on the forelimbs already. Absolutely stunning.
Huge forearms as well.
Yeah, well, this is what I was saying earlier. They're
so disproportionate.
They're just perfectly evolved. This is why they've got those really big, thick forearms, which is obviously, like you've just said, disproportionate to the spindly arms.
Yeah.
But do not be fooled. These guys can take out prey bigger than themselves, snatch those massive forearms. They're designed specifically, or I should say, they've evolved specifically to snatch large prey items out of the air and hold on to them for dear life, and be able to just hold them for that whole time while they eat their prey, obviously, and that's why they've got those really huge, disproportionately large forearms. Absolutely stunning. Let's see if we can find any more. There's a couple down here. There's one down here. Is just like watching me. He's just staring at me while I kiss his friends. So that one. Let's see if we can get a bit closer. Where is it? Where did he go? There he is. There he is. Look. Just chilling. That one's just chilling. Absolutely loving the. I wonder if we can get a closer look at its empusa now. Just a minute. At its tarsals, because it's right there. Hoping we can get a closer look. Just bear with me a minute, guys. Yeah, I don't think I can get in close enough. So I'm just trying to focus in on the tarsus a little bit, but I'm afraid I can't. There we go. Hang on. That's just trying to get a better look at its tarsal there, but I don't think I can. Yeah, it's because it's around the back. There we go. Here we go. Persevere. So you can see. So when you look at a regular, a mantis that's from a different family, not the Enclosure family, they tend to just have the hook at the end of two. So the leg, and then they've got a small tarsus, and then the tarsal at the end. Whereas this one's got a really elongated section. Can you see that black? The black section right at the end with the two hooks. So you've got the two claws right at the end, and then you've got a long, elongated black section. You don't get that on other mantis. And that's really, really flexible. Like it's just, really, really bendy. And then you've got another section before the rest of the leg. Again, that's quite elongated. You don't normally get that. And together, they enable the Empusidae mantids to wrap their tarsals around. It gives them that that additional bit of flexibility to enable them to wrap their tarsals around around thin twigs and sticks. And I think they've evolved that way in order to support that extra little piece of body weight. But also, obviously, these are the types of environments that they've evolved. So they've had to evolve to be slightly different. We've got two there, looking at each other. So you can see we've got two slightly different colour morphs here. We've got a really nice chocolatey brown, just on the move sort of colour, and then we've got one up here that's like a golden yellowy kind of colour. Now, as they get older, you'll get a whole range of colour morphs with this species. It's absolutely fantastic. You get the more common kind of colour morphs, which are the beige, like a light brown, beigey kind of colour, and the dark brown, which these two are probably going to grow to be one light and one dark, both equally quite common. But you also get, as they get a bit older, they start to take on a little bit of colour, much like Mantis diabolica do. They take on that little bit of extra colour in that final molt. And some of these gongys, you can get a whole range of really quite unique colours with certain individuals. You can get greens and yellows, but you can also get almost like a black kind of colour. Really quite unusual. They're quite rare to get like black morphs and really green morphs and bright yellow morphs, but they do exist, and you do get them from time to time.
What about pink?
I don't think I've ever seen a pink one, man.
Not you don't get pink Empusidae then?
No. Well, not unless you're looking online.
It's my all-time favourite one, is all.
The one that's like really bright, dark bright pink. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, where can I get one of these?
Right, guys. I think I'm gonna just spin it round, see if I can get any slightly different bit of footage. That guy's having a little bit of a look. Let's have a look at him, shall we? Hello. There we go, look. Beautiful. So we can see the absolutely stunning markings on the raptors. And there's the weapons of choice right there. Absolutely beautiful. The stripes coming through now, absolutely fantastic. Look at the spikes on the elbows. What are they called? Fantastic. Look at his little face. There you go, guys. Beautiful. Even the fake petally leaf type structures on the legs, they're absolutely beautiful as well, aren't they? You've got some absolutely fantastic markings.
I wonder if their camouflage is to look like dry grass heads.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely. Because if you look at things like Poposphercus and Heterochaetus, they've got those like knobbles, aren't they, that mimic like dried sticks that have just got like knobbles on them, those like wood knots almost sort of things. And even ooths are made to look like just knobbles of, wood knobs, aren't they? Little knobbly bits that you get on like
Yeah, where like a branch has been cut off and it just left that little nodule.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I have no doubt that these appendages, these like kind of structures, these lobes, are definitely, I would imagine, like you said, are some kind of. They're obviously camouflage. Um, it'd be interesting to try and look a little bit more into what their natural habitat is.
Yeah.
Just to see, because I've done my best to. I mean, you can see those dry flowers that I put in there. They've got like little bulbous sort of areas, and all the sticks and grasses that I've put in, they've all got little knobbly bits on their on their stems and on their branches and stuff. But look at the colours starting to come through on its face, on its eyes and crown. Starting to get like the really nice like marbled look, finished look. Hello. Absolutely stunning, man. Absolutely stunning. There's another
When
one.
they've got their arms up like that, it's almost like a moth resting.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's like an ambush thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Could be. Look at the colour of this one. Oh shit. Sorry. You don't want to see that. Actually, I took a photo. Sorry, guys. Yeah, look at the look at the colour of this one. You see how it's got a little bit of green coming through, and it's on the stripe. The stripe is a little bit green. Absolutely beautiful. We're gonna have a little bit of a clean. Go on, give us a clean. Give us a show. Just got that whole like. See how they just like it's just moving around like they're just breeze caught in a little bit of a wind, a little bit of the leafy stick just moving around.
Even the nodule bits look like a moth's head.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look at the crown. It's just so intricate, isn't it? There we go. We're having a bit of a clean. Look at those tarsals, guys. This is what I was talking about. Look how long they are. Hello. There you go, guys. Gongylus gongylodes. Wandering Violin Mantis right there in your face. Beautiful. Look at the head crest, man. It's like you say, there's definitely some mimicry going on there. Having another little clean. Just keeps moving around while it's cleaning. It's interesting that they move around, you know, pretending to be a rustling piece of leaf or foliage in the wind. Whenever they're doing anything that might leave them kind of vulnerable. You know, like if they're not, like if it's cleaning itself or if it's eating its prey. Anything where it's in a situation where if something potentially a predator potentially is there to snap it up as food, it'll do that thing. So if it leaves itself vulnerable, it'll just do that wavy thing, you know, where it's just rustling around in the breeze, just to deter any potential predators while it's occupied, either eating something or it's cleaning itself, or if it's in a situation where it's just not 100% focused on its environment. Interesting. So it's perfectly still now. Right, guys. I tell you what I'm going to do now. I'm going to put some food in. Oh yeah, that's right. I have brought dinner. I'm just going to chuck a bit of food in, if we can, and then we're going to wrap things up. We're not going to be around too late. We're not going on for much longer than 11 o'clock tonight, guys. But I did bring some flies. It's my old pot of flies. I'm just gonna put that in there. I'm just gonna open the lid and I'm just gonna leave it to it. One escaped, just one. So we put some flies in there. We're going to let all those escape, and then I'm going to take the pot out, and then we're going to see if we can get some feeding time. Right, see you, Mark. Thank you so much for tuning in, my friend. You are a star. Thank you, man. Right, so I've released some flies. There's a few more left in there. I'm going to just there's just one left there, so. Just want to catch these last couple of flies, chuck them in there. So basically, these are just like a bunch of green bottles that I've just hatched out, and one is loose in the shed. That's annoying. And yeah, so I've just put them in, and already I can see one has snaffled some of those up. So let's have a look at that guy, shall we? So far, I can only see one that's eating. So we'll have a look. And it's a classic example of the awesomeness, the awesome power of these gongies, because this is a pretty big fly that it's got relative to the size of its head. Let's have a look. And there we have it. Good lad.
Eyeball first.
Sorry, just trying to get some more light on the job. Bear with me. There we go. So as you can see, like I was saying earlier, these bad boys have evolved. Absolute masters of catching flies, snatching flies out of the air, and there is just what I hoped for. And it snatched one right out of the air. So I can already see a question. Mildred Gamer, thank you so much for tuning in, Mildred. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't recognize the name, so you must be new to the stream. Thank you so much. Basically, when are they ready for blue bottles? Well, right now. Literally just now. So these have just molted to 4th instar. Some of these are actually only 3rd instar, but I think this one is actually, I think this one might be 3rd instar. Looking at it, because that fly is pretty big. So these are green bottles, but these are actually quite big green bottles, to be honest. So I would say fourth instar onwards, and you are good to go with blue bottles, because obviously blue bottles are a little bit bigger than your green bottles. Has gone all camera shy on me. So Mildred, yes, I would say fourth instar, third instar for a green bottle, which is what you can see now. This is a third instar Gongy, which has got the green bottle right now. It's had absolutely no problem whatsoever snatching that air. This Gongy is getting ever more and is hiding behind the foliage. But yes, fourth instar, definitely ready for blue bottles. Honestly, don't be put off by the size of the flies. As you can see, look at the size of this fly compared to this mantis. It's had no problems whatsoever holding onto that fly. Um, so I'm going to have a quick look around, see if there's any more mantis. I've caught any of the flies. There's plenty of flies in there, so I'll be amazed if there's no more caught any more just yet. Francis and Ebbs, they are off. Night night, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you like me lovely new enclosure. I was hoping more gongies would have caught more flies, but as it stands, no more have caught any more. So I was hoping we were going to get a bit more action than that. Oh, actually, it's just saw one. Just saw one having a little bit of a snatch at a fly. If I put the light there and watch this one here, maybe we will see. Maybe we will see it snatching one. See it eyeing one up, look. There he is. So I've got the light shining right in this corner. I'm hoping that's going to encourage the flies to come to this corner where this gongy is just waiting. It is just waiting. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. We might get lucky here. Let's just pull back a little bit. We might get lucky. He's after it. He's after them. Come on. Look at it. Absolutely beautiful, man. Look at those markings. Just looks absolutely stunning. Come on. Just want the flies to come over. Come on. Well, there's another one over there that looks like it's got one, I think. Or is it the same one? Well, I'm a little bit disappointed. I was hoping the flies were going to be snatched up. Come on. Got another one here. He's looking like he might get one. This guy's going to get one soon. All the flies are just hanging out in this corner. It's just a matter of time, surely. A lot of activity going on. Look at this guy. His antennae twitching all over the place, man. Well, come on. Well, there we go. Anyway, I was hoping we were going to see a little bit more fly catching action going on, but it's not like there aren't plenty of flies in there. Okay, I think that might be it. I was hoping we were going to see a little bit more. I mean, all the flies are just hanging out down here in the grass, which I was really hoping. Oh, we missed it. You got 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 it, and we missed it. Should have been more patient. There we go. Look. Let's have a quick look. So this one did get one eventually. Just hanging out in the grass. See, this is what I was saying earlier. They keep moving around quite a lot. They wave around because whenever they're eating prey, they're actually quite vulnerable. So they're not keeping an eye on what's going on around them quite so much. Sorry, I can't. I'm having a little bit of trouble tuning into this guy. Just a minute. There we go.
That's one of them, Claire.
There we go. There he is. So no escape. No escape whatsoever. There's huge raptors. So it's been quite difficult to focus because there's just so much movement. Yummy. Yeah. Tricky. Very tricky, this species to, because they're just constantly waving around. But there you go. I'm sure they will all catch the flies eventually. So, I think that's gone all right, hasn't it, Gav? There we go. Look at that. See the mandibles in action right there. Just eating machines, man. But yeah, quite tricky. Because it's just all that waving around all that time. So So Scott, these adults, females can get up to 11 centimeters. Males usually between 9 and 10 centimeters. Males obviously a little bit more slender than the females, but on average about 10 centimeters, mate. So they're a big old species. Right, I think that's it. We've seen a bit of action, seen a bit of macro. It's quite difficult maintaining focus, obviously, because they just keep moving around all the time, which is fair enough. It is their defense while they're vulnerable like this. So this is what they do. Hello. Right, let's just have a quick check to see if any more have caught anything. No, just that other one that we were looking at before. So there's that other one we were looking at previously. It's got some really nice green on this one, you know. Really pretty green through. So, Mildred, the thing is, I would say they're not particularly difficult. The only real tricky thing is getting the conditions right, which you could say for any species, granted. The main thing you really have to think about is if you're going to keep them in a glass or acrylic enclosure like this, make sure you've done what I've done, and you've provided plenty of like sticks and small twigs and stuff going across in all directions within the enclosure, because that's what they need to be able to move around successfully and molt from. A mesh cube is perfectly adequate as well. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with a mesh cube. They're just not as pretty to look at. The main thing is just making sure that once they get past that fifth, sixth instar stage, you have the ability to maybe be able to increase the temperature from say 26 to 28, and then maybe up to 30 to 32 once they get to pre-subadult, subadult sort of stage. And they're the main sorts of things. Actually, I found them relatively easy to keep. Humidity-wise, keep them bone dry. You could give them a spray. Maybe if you're keeping them in a mesh enclosure that holds no humidity at all, you could spray every couple of days. If they're drinking the droplets, continue to spray them every couple of days. If you think they're not drinking at all, you don't really need to bother spraying them. You could probably maybe spray them once a week. If you keep them in an enclosure like this, where the humidity could be maintained slightly higher, you could spray them even less than that. So anyway, you know, but once a week, I would say spraying is actually perfectly adequate. So I think that's perfectly fine. Right, I think we're done. I think we are done. I was hoping they were going to drink. I mean, sorry, they were going to eat more flies. There was going to be a bit more fly action going on, but that's fine. We did manage to catch a little bit of feeding going on. Oh, there's another one down here. Just caught one. So there you go. They're slowly starting to snatch their food. There's three of them now. Have all got a little bit of food going on. So I think we're going to leave it at that. Right then, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. It's gone quite well. What do you reckon, Gav? Looks all right, doesn't it?
Yep. Bob.
You're excited? Yeah. Nice. There you go, guys. I hope you like that. And so, listen, if anybody's interested in putting together their own communal, I've got plenty and plenty of Gongys coming through. So more will be available over the next week or so. Um, Obviously, I've got the enclosures. I also sell the mesh pop-ups. If anybody's interested in keeping it simple and just doing a mesh pop-up communal, that is perfectly fine as well. If you've got your own enclosures and everything, then that's perfectly fine. If you want, though, if you guys don't have adequate sticks and stuff, this sort of thing that I've been putting in these, I can get some of this for you. Just let me know. I have actually, like I said before earlier, if you've only just tuned in more recently and you missed what I was talking about earlier, I've got some gongies, I've got the enclosures. I'm going to put together a whole package of like a communal of however gongies you want, an enclosure, and all the necessary bits and pieces inside that you can have to make something similar to this if that's what you fancy doing. So if you guys fancy having a go and you want your own communal and you want the whole package, let me know and we can talk about what sort of price range you're looking at, and we can create a box for you with all the necessary bits and pieces, and that will be really exciting. I would absolutely love it if a few of you guys would be up for doing a communal, if that's something sort of thing that interests you, and then we can all like have a look and we can get together and we can all document our experiences, and I think that would be something really cool to do. So there you go. Gongylodes, Gongylus, Wandering Violin Mantis, Indian Rose Ornate Mantis. There you go. Absolutely stunning species. One of the only species that I would probably recommend as being communal. Obviously, nothing is entirely communal. You may still lose one or two, but generally, these guys are more than happy to stay together and live together as a commune. So that is really exciting, I think. I'm going to do some progress updates. I'll keep showing you these guys every now and again as they start to get a little bit bigger, and we'll adapt the enclosure to suit that. So there you go. Just spray it once a week if you've got one of these, so they can have a little bit of a drink. They don't really need any more humidity than that. 30 to 40% humidity, like just the usual ambient sort of humidity of your house or wherever it is you're putting them. Um, like I said, at this young stage, 24 to 28 degrees is perfectly fine. No need to be blasting them with heat lamps all day long when they're this young. Once they get to like 5th, 6th, 7th instar, you can start increasing the temperature to 28 to 32 degrees and start hitting them with like a heat lamp, maybe for 2 or 3 hours, or just leave them in the sun. Let them soak up some of that lovely summer sun. Let them soak that up for 2 or 3 hours a day. You will see them basking in that. They will absolutely love that. You can give them a drop down to 19 to 21 degrees overnight. That is perfectly fine. And then once they get to like pre-subadult, subadult sort of size, you can think about maybe giving them a little bit more heat. 32 to 36 degrees will look, but especially if you want to breed them, they're going to need that extra blast of heat up to 36 degrees maybe in order for them to get going. But other than that, that is pretty much it. Flying prey generally, guys, flies, moths, anything that flies basically is what they prefer to eat. Keep them well fed, don't be shy. These guys will eat and eat and eat, and they are pretty sturdy, so don't worry about overfeeding them. Just make sure they get flies every few days. Chuck a bunch of flies in there. If you start seeing the flies just like not disappearing, just cut back. Don't bother feeding them for quite a few days. But if the flies keep disappearing, just keep chucking them in like every maybe 3, 4, or 5 days, depending on how many flies you put in there, and they will thank you for it. They do thrive on being well fed, and also obviously that will obviously discourage them from like having a go at each other as well. Not that I think they will do that anyway, because they tend to be quite forgiving. They're happy to just go about their business, and basically we'll see how they get on. I'm hoping we're going to see some group activity going on. Maybe some might see some dominant females rising, some alpha males or whatever. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm hoping to get some interesting footage, and we'll see how they progress as a group. So we'll see how that goes. I think that's it, Gav. I don't think there's anything else to cover. I think I've covered all the care there, haven't I?
Yeah.
I think so. Gav's ready to go. I know he is. I can see that look in his face.
Oh, look at the screen.
Mildred, yes, you can find me on Facebook. Unseen Universe, you can find me. I am on Facebook, Unseen Universe. I am on Instagram, Unseen Universe. Obviously, you are here, YouTube, Unseen Universe. Am I anywhere else, Gav? I think that's it, isn't it? I don't do TikTok. I'm not. I am on TikTok, but I don't use it. So Facebook, just Unseen Universe. There's a group, and there's my page. You could message me on either of those. And I'm also on Instagram, Unseen Universe. You can't miss me. I'm there. I'm there. Just message me there. No problem whatsoever. Thank you for your interest. It's been great to have you guys here. Thank you so much. Stephanie, thank you so much. She's just dropped a link into my Unseen Universe Facebook page. So there you go. Right, guys, lovely. I think that's it for me. I'm going to get off. I think we've done really well. I'm really, really happy with this, and I promise I will show you some updates later on. So it just leaves me to say thank you to everyone in the chat. Thanks so much, guys. Always means a lot. I hope you've enjoyed the setting up of this, and if there's any questions, if anybody's got any interests, insights, experience on Communal of Gongys, please leave your messages, thoughts, and general observations, and in the comments of the YouTube video, and we'll get the chat started. We'll share experiences, and we'll see what we can learn from each other. That will be absolutely amazing. So thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you to everyone who's watched the rerun. Thank you so much to everyone. Thank you for Stephanie, my hall monitor, and thank you so much to my right hand man, Gavalar. Thanks, Gavalar. Just say goodbye, mate.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye from Gav. Right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you. I will see you on Saturday for the next stream. See you guys. Bye.